This is actually a really important question because we have been warned about climate change for quite a while now, and it can be hard to look beyond how big and difficult a problem is to the kinds of things that we could do to fix it. But we are doing some things to try to fix it. Scientists are trying to work out precisely what the impacts of climate change are and will be. Some cool companies are being set up to try and work out strategies to fix things. Some politicians are working really hard to design plans and rules about how to deal with climate change. And those rules, the law, that's what I do, rules about how to help us live well together and to plan for the future. I want to tell you about some of the rules that are helping us to try and stop climate change. So there's a big international rule, a big agreement called a convention about climate change. And every year, countries from all over the world get together at what's called a conference of the parties, or a COP. They're meeting for the 26th time this year, so it's COP26. And they're going to be working out how to set targets and reduce emissions to help poorer countries reduce emissions in their country as well, and to invest in things like solar and wind energy that don't make climate change worse. Here in Australia, we're a bit behind. There's a lot more that our country could be doing and should be doing to stop climate change. But for the first time in a long time, we're starting to work out a plan this year about how we're going to stop producing emissions and start doing stuff to prepare for climate change better. Big companies in Australia now have to tell everybody what they're doing to stop climate change within their company. And we have some rules about restoring bushland and making soil healthy, because those things put carbon dioxide into the soil and into the ground instead of releasing it into the atmosphere, which can help to stop climate change. Here in Tasmania, we have a law called the Climate Change Act, and a plan that puts that act into action. And it's just been reviewed. So the government has been through this process of trying to work out whether the law is as good as it could be and what kinds of things we need to do better. And it's really great. There's a target that the government is setting to reduce emissions across the whole of Tasmania. By 2030, they want to get to net zero in Tassie, which is great. The law helps to explain how people who make big decisions around Tasmania should be thinking about the impact of climate change. It means that the government has to make a plan for how we're going to cope with the climate impacts that are already happening and how we get ready for a better future to keep us safe and healthy, even as the climate changes. And it also requires the government to work out what the big risks are from climate change so we can plan for them better. So great work, class 5-6W at Deloraine Primary School. Maybe you can think of some things that you'd like to see us doing now that we know so much more about climate change than we used to. Politicians, as I said, they help to make the rules, and they speak for you and for your grown-ups when they go to Parliament to make those rules. So maybe you could write a letter to your local politician and ask them what their plans are to do something about climate change. They really like to know what people in their communities think, and they might have some really great ideas that they can share with you. So well done, and all the best.